to the 12 days of Viva, and we're now on day 10. And I'm the Viva Visionary, and we have on here 5 of our Viva Explorers, including myself. And we're going to be focusing on the 10th day of Christmas. Microsoft gave to me the Viva Explorers who have created topic cards. They were helping to improve well-being. We're helping to engage frontline workers. We have new learning pathways, and we have clear OKRs and awesome focus plans, better communication, and an intranet on Teams, and a great employee experience going forward for everyone, and helping to with employee engagement. So I'm the Viva Visionary. I'm also at this moment in time a Viva Santa, and there's my good little friend just there coming just through the window. We're going to have a little bit of a panel discussion, and I'll just give you an idea of who the Viva Explorers are in case you haven't heard anything about us. We've been ticking over now for about a year. There's nearly 60 of us little Viva elves out there across the world, and we are passionate about Viva, and we're all MVPs. So I'm going to hand over to Kevin to introduce himself, who is our Viva Transformer.
Thank you very, very much, Lesley. So I'm Kevin McDonough. I'm the head of practice at CPS, co-host the Grey Hat Beard podcast, Grey Hat Beard Princess podcast. And as you say, the Viva Transformer. And this is all about not just turning on Viva, but how you can transform organizations with the power of employee experience, and how you can get people adopting all the great stuff that Viva offers. Shall I pass on to Sarah?
Hi, my name's Sarah Fenner. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and MVP, as Lesley said, we all are. My role is the Viva Visionary. I'm stealing Leslie's role. I'm so used to introducing both of us. I'm now stealing a role. Thanks for the Christmas present, Lesley. I'm the Viva Realist. Yikes. My role is basically to help people realise the reality of Viva, look at the administration in line with the role as a trainer as well. And I'm going to go and sulk in the corner for my mistake and hand over to Zoe to introduce herself.
Thanks, Sarah. So I'm Zoe Wilson. I work at Avanade as the Year at Workplace Value Realisation Offering Lead, which basically means that I help customers understand how to get the most value of their investments in workplace technology, and that includes Viva. I am the Viva Dreamer, so I focus on the strategy, the art of the possible, what the roadmap for employee experience looks like, and all those good things. And I'll hand over to Ståle to finish off the introductions.
Thank you, Zoe. My name is Ståle Hansen. I'm the CEO and Principal Cloud Architect at Cloudway and MVP. I'm also a Microsoft Regional Director. And with Viva, I'm the Viva Empath. I think it's the way to use Viva to practice empathic leadership, for instance, to teach people to work smarter in Microsoft 365 through Viva. That's my passion, and that's what I talk about a lot these days.
Thank you. And I work alongside Ståle at Cloudway as a cloud consultant, and I, with Sarah and the others, I'm the visionary. I look to the future and what actually you can't really do yet, but I get incredibly excited about it. But Sarah keeps me true on what you can actually do now with all of the others. So without further ado, I will kick off the questions. So what is your favourite part of Viva right now? And I'm going to offer that one up to Zoe, our Viva Dreamer.
Brilliant, thanks, Lesley. So that means that I can get in there first then before anyone else takes this one. So my favourite part of Viva is Viva Insights, and I mean, I like all of the bits of Viva, and they've all got different benefits and different things they're good at. But for me, I really like the fact that we're focusing on well-being, and we're taking a data-driven approach to how I work as an individual, to how teams work, to how organizations work as a whole. And I think that it just gives us so much potential to actually be able to measure the impact of what we're doing on the people within an organization, which is super, super powerful.
Thank you. Kevin.
Fantastic. So as the try and get the camera moving on there. As a Viva transformer, for me, the most powerful element of Viva is that ability to transform organizations, to get to that strategy and vision that organizations have, and have that aligned for everyone and transformed down and trackable. And so really there's only one area of Viva that's that delivers specifically around that, to get that purpose put out to people, and that's Viva goals. I love the OKR framework and that ability to kind of give specific elements to it. It's not just about an objective that you come to at the end of the year. I remember many objectives at organizations that you get there and no one will remember quite why you were doing them or what the focus was, because it had been a year ago. But now you have not only that objective that you check on a regular result, but also those key results that actually measure what that detail is with a very specific metric that you can define and hook up to your systems, whether it's SQL and coming soon things like Planner as well. So for me, Viva goals is absolutely the powerful one there.
Thank you. And Ståle?
Yes, I also want to say Viva Insights, but from a different perspective than Zoe, because I think it's okay. There's something huge happening right now from Microsoft, and that's how they are democratizing working smart in Microsoft 365 through Viva Insights on a personal level, on an individual level. You have focus time, virtual commute. And now you also have a premium feature where a manager can actually implement quiet hours for their employees. And I think that's where the empathic part comes into the picture, because to teach your employees in order to disconnect during the day, but also teach them to do time boxing and deep work during the day, so you don't have to do it in the evenings. That's so huge. And we've been talking about this for years. You have productivity methodologies that's been there since the 80s and 70s that's been talking about these kinds of things. Now it's in there, in the system, in Microsoft 365, and you don't have to create a system outside the system in order to work smart. This is so huge.
Yeah, none of this is new, but it's that fact that it's going through Teams and it's that one access point, isn't it? No, it's that's what makes the difference now. None of this is really new. So
none of
feel
it
the realist
is
jump
new.
in and go. It was more if the realist here should be saying, if it's been around for so long, how come we're not productive yet? And that is a good question for a future show, I think.
But I think that we need to teach this. One thing is to have it in the platform. Another thing is to actually know the thinking behind it, learn how to do deep work and so on. But again, you don't have to create a system outside the system. It is in the system now. This is so huge. Yeah.
It's discovered. Over to Sarah.
We're all speaking at the same time. I was just going to say, and that's what's different. It's the fact that it is built into the technology, not just the business process. And that's, I think, where it makes a difference with Viva Insights. I love the fact that it's telling me with Viva Insights the balance between where I'm spending all my time in my meetings. But that's not my favorite bit of Viva. My favorite bit is topics. I just love the way it saves so much time and effort, and with tagging your documents. We don't necessarily need to do that anymore. It's using the artificial intelligence to find the topics in our documents for us. And it means I can be a little bit lazier, spend more of my focus time doing practical things and useful things. But it also helps get over that argument, metadata or folders in SharePoint as well. So lots of benefits to it. But from a personal perspective, it means I can be smarter and not have to work harder and take more notice of my focus time.
I think if you look at like the things that Microsoft have announced recently as well in the roadmap, I think one of the things that will be really powerful is the fact that all of these things will start to work together. So the integration of learning into topics, the fact that these things will start to appear in your daily briefing email, which is like an insights thing. I think that as we see more of that deeper integration between the platform, the benefits will just become even more significant.
Yeah, and I had this vision years ago of the fact of Yammer and hashtags and topics, and then it became what's a topic, what's a hashtag, and then suddenly we've got Viva topics. So one of my visions actually came true of the importance of using hashtags in Yammer, which is now Viva Engage. So the next question, thank you very much for those insights. So the next question is, what are you most excited to see coming? And for me personally, that is Viva Amplify, because my background was and always is going to be an internal communicator, and I think Viva Amplify is a great gift for not only internal communications, but anyone that wants to reach a lot of staff across an organisation and target your audience and send a message across a number of channels at the same time. So I'm putting forward Viva Amplify. So Ståle, what are you most excited about what's coming in very shortly?
So I just want to do a shout out to something that's already here, but I think it went under the radar, and that is I'm back at Viva Insights, but that now advanced search in Viva Insights for organizations is stored now outside United States of America. It's stored in EU for European tenants, and I don't think everyone is aware of this, but now it opens up Viva Insights on an organization level for more organizations. So I don't know when it came, but it's in learnmicrosoft.com and it's documented. So I think it came this quarter or something.
Thank you. Sarah?
Oh, I would say it's got to be the integration across the whole suite. Those little bits of wires joining up and that linking between the different products, so it does become Microsoft Viva rather than Viva Insights, Viva Topics, Viva Goals. That idea that they all talk to each other is probably my favorite thing that's on the roadmap at the moment.
And for that, then it's important to mention that Viva Connections doesn't work on a tablet, but it's in the roadmap to get there for iPad, right? So it's I hope that's getting solved soon, so it also works on a tablet. And apparently, my Surface Duo 2 identifies as a tablet. So,
well, it's not exactly phone sized, is it? You open it up and hold it up to your ear, it takes up half your face.
Actually, it's smaller than a lot of other phones. You wouldn't think so, but it is. So it's not that big, actually.
Yeah, but when you open them.
Oh yeah. But that's not how you should use it, Sarah.
Hello, that's what I've been doing wrong. But if I'm working on it, I'm not going to fold it up just to talk.
Anyway, we've digressed.
Sorry.
So Zoe, what do you feel is the most exciting Viva feature or application that you're looking forward to?
So I'd echo Sarah's comments about the integration between the platform, because at the moment they're all kind of operating in isolation. So I think that makes it really easier to help customers understand the value and see the connection between the different modules. But in terms of what's new and what's coming, I think that Answers in Viva is going to be incredibly powerful. We've got the concept of topics and being able to amalgamate content and knowledge and experts, but actually being able to crowdsource answers as well, especially when you work in a big organization like I do. I think this is going to be really, really helpful for not just looking at like a topic card that says these are the people that know about this, but actually being able to get right to the specific answer that you need without having to go and knock down doors and search for people.
Great. And Kevin?
So it's me, and I was very happy to hear Sarah didn't steal this one. I think lots of big strategic stuff, things like Amplify and Pulse, big new things coming on there. But what I'm liking is that we're also seeing that ticking over of new bits of functionality that often go unheralded but can be transformative. If you like the pun onto my Viva persona on there. So for me, one of those is Viva topics, is the segmentation and categories of topics. Certainly speaking with clients, it's seeing those list of topics come up and just feeling daunted how many different ones on there. It's people are feeling a little bit nervous about seeing those different ones, who's going to own all these different things, how I'm going to manage all this different scale and even govern those topics on there. I think with that segmentation and those categories of different topics will just give that little bit extra ease into putting your topics into different spaces and having owners own kind of groups of topics rather than just the individual ones. So anything that eases that initial burden and gets people into the value that Sarah was talking about there will be a very exciting thing for next year. And I think it's due to land either late this year or early next year. So I think it's on the roadmap as coming very soon. So looking forward to seeing that come through.
Yeah,
Christmas present.
Yeah, I think just on the subject of topics as well, the other one that I think is really interesting, which is slightly outside Viva but is connected, is the syntax connector for topics. And when we think about that process of understanding what you've got and then being able to turn that into knowledge, being able to use syntax as that processing engine and then convert those into topics will be incredibly powerful.
Yeah,
I can be even more lazy.
There's so much that's coming. But one of the things that I'm hoping is going to land well is Viva Engage stories and storylines, because I think it's kind of like that you can have too much goodness coming at you on ways to post and engage inside of an organization, and I'm kind of like not sure whether stories and storylines are going to be that valuable or that much of a superhero. But it's let's see how that branches out into in the new year when it really starts being used by organisation and leaders. What's your views on this?
I think you hit the nail on the head with that last word there. As it comes out to those leaders who can truly engage and spread that message, I think with more and more hybrid organizations and those the kind of impact of the pandemic of people not being all in the same place, that those silos appearing and you're not getting that connection with the leaders for many employees, that people are feeling they're drifting away from them, and they're just seen as this kind of mythical beast that sits in an office hiding away somewhere. For me, stories and storylines allows that personality to come through and allows people to be more authentic from there and to share what's going on. And I think that connection to everyone else is so important. If I think about leaders who've inspired me where I've worked in the past, it's those that shared what's going on, those that try and engage with everyone else. And to me, stories and storylines are a really powerful way of doing that. There is always the risk, and I think the kind of comms and brands team should be there to support leaders to be able to share their authentic self in the correct way. Some leaders, you probably don't want to see their true self too much, so trying to find a nice balance between being authentic and actually getting the message across is a nice one there. So I think for many organizations it should be a very powerful tool, and it's one of those things that people need to get out and start using.
Yeah, and it's not just for leaders though, is it? Because it's kind of like, you know, people that are evangelists and advocates that might be out on talking on LinkedIn and Twitter. Yeah, that you have that bringing the outside in, and maybe that's the comfortable place. That's the place that might be naturally, you know, that platform for them to do that inside an organisation. Zoe, sorry, you had a point.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, Kevin and I were talking about this at ESPC last week, and I think for people,
you're not bringing up scheduled send, are you?
No. It's that's not a Viva topic. Well, it is. It actually is a Viva topic, isn't it? But let's come back to that. But I think for people like us who present and we record, you know, podcasts and virtual conference sessions and things like that, we're comfortable with how we present ourselves on camera. But for some of these leaders, particularly those who are maybe not as technically au fait with, you know, modern social media platforms and things like that, it can be really daunting for them to actually record a video. And you know, I think it could take them like several hours and takes to get something that they're happy with. So it's how do we actually help them? Well, it's not that it's not for them. How do we help them?
No, it's not for everyone. I said, yeah.
But I think it can be, which I think what you're saying. So it's that support to be able to do that, to find your niche within that, to find your brands that you want to put across. It could be a very serious one that you just put the factual points. Here's what we've done this month. Here's what we're planning. Boom, done on there. But I think that opportunity to bring a bit more personality is fantastic.
And one more scenario is funny videos. There's nothing more funny than people actually having fun in the context of what you're doing in work. And in larger organization, I'm guessing there are some people with some very good humor, and to get that spread across the platform as well I think that could be a cool scenario. And that's also an opportunity to build a brand and so on. And yeah, I think there's potential here, and maybe look at it also like kind of like a TikTok reel thing, where it doesn't have to be this scripted thing, but more like authentic and maybe funny as well. So just want to put it out there.
We all kind of express ourselves very differently, but one thing that the last 3 years has taught us is that faces and the human face is very important for us to see. And sending a video message, be it just a straightforward video message or using stories and storylines, really helps bring people closer together and understand what the human is at the other end, or that they are human even. Because I've had leaders in the past that you get these messages and you're like, really? Is that another human being asking me that?
Well,
So
you say that
whole process is nice.
But my son said I have a great face for podcasts, which was very kind of him. So
children are so kind.
Exactly.
So the final wrap-up question, Viva Explorers, is what do you think is your wish to be in Santa's sack for Viva that we haven't talked about already? Is there something there that you still think could be added into the mix of this that maybe Microsoft are working on, that we're going to be by this time next year, there would be another feature that's popped out that we haven't touched at all yet?
This is you trying to trip us up on the NDA discussions, isn't it, Lesley?
I'll take that one first then. I want to make it easier for people to understand the administration of Viva. So I want a training course on the administration of Microsoft Viva. That's what I want.
Nice.
Maybe that's a scenario where you actually take control of your own Christmas presents.
Well, in that case,
any trainers there?
No, I don't. In that case, I want another 3 years between now and Christmas to write it, please, and for the platform to stay still, and then I'll have I can make my own Christmas present. No, I mean, the training course is half of it. The other half is the certification that goes with it. I do like collecting my certificates, so an official training course with a Viva administration certificate would be a nice present. Thank you.
Ståle?
Yeah, so I'm kind of single-minded. I'm sorry about that, but now that we have the focus timer in Viva, I think that's great. So when you put in a focus time, you get this focus timer, this reminder, hey, do you want to use this timer? But it turns out there is a focus timer, a focus session timer in Windows 11 as well, which is actually quite good. And it integrates more with your operating system and can control stuff in Windows. So my wish was that the focus timer in Windows 11, which can trigger Spotify playlist, it even removes the badge from Teams and can even stop apps from blinking, when you're focusing and then suddenly Teams started, hey, there's someone talking to you in Teams, you should look at this. So you can turn that off. So if you start a Windows 11 focus session, it should then trigger a focus session in Teams as well through Viva Insights. So it registers a calendar event, so you get that as a focus session, and you go into that magical focus, do not disturb status in Teams. That's a very specific request, but then I would consider this feature complete. It would like be done now. We will be there completely, and yeah, I would be very happy.
And Zoe?
Nice.
So I'm greedy. I've got two things that I'd like. One is to see the use of more AI, particularly from a Viva Insights perspective. And to steal a phrase that Kevin often uses, what I'd like to see is more AI that helps people do the right thing, that helps make it easy for people to do the right thing. So more nudges,
Steal my
more
phrase and then get it wrong. I don't know.
yeah, more suggestions, more reminders. I think as we were saying earlier, there's a lot of like behavior change, and we need to help people understand how to change how they work and how to use these tools properly. So the more that we can nudge them within the system, I think the better that would be. And then the other thing that I'd like to see is additional role-based Viva modules. So we had Viva Sales, and we were told that more are coming, but at the moment I've got no idea what these are going to be. But I think anything that can help make people in specific roles more productive, more effective, make it easier for them to do their job, the more powerful that would be as well, I think.
Great. And sorry, who hasn't? Is it Sarah? No, it's
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 Kevin.
Kevin.
Me. So for me, it's I'm going to cheat slightly as people always do on these panel shows and kind of ignore the question. I'm going to go full on politician here because I don't I love all the things you've suggested in Viva, and I want to see that continued cadence. Maybe not necessarily loads of new services because I think people are still trying to digest those. So instead, what I want is the organizations to see the value of putting the employee at the middle, of kind of focusing on getting that productivity by treating employees well, by giving them the tools, by looking at that feedback that Viva Insights is giving you and allowing employees to be more effective, to kind of look at how people can be more productive. One of the things that always gets me down post-pandemic is that kind of nature that we've learned how to work remotely and things like that, but we haven't necessarily always learned how to measure productivity and to look at those different things. The productivity paranoia that was talked about as part of the work trends, where senior managers are kind of thinking that people aren't being productive and they're not doing enough work, and that actually feel they're doing too much work and being stretched and burnt out. I want that gap to shrink. I want people to be able to put some real data behind that and say, this is what we expect from you. You're achieving that. Great. Yeah, we're all being productive on there, and actually focus on getting a more effective organizations by treating employees better as well.
Yeah, and on that note, I'm not going to be the visionary here. I'm actually going to say, call me old-fashioned, because really organizations need to invest more in user adoption. So about being productive, they need to know how to use Teams that much better to be able to then take the step into Viva. And I think that's the issue that we've got at this time, is that we are raving and roaring and bright shiny things in Viva, but many organizations are still using it like Skype, that it is just for chat, web meetings, and what have I missed out? Chat, web meetings, and telephones,
Collaboration.
telephony. So there's so much more there, and if you just spend 30 minutes training up across the organization each person, and make sure that in the new hires understand how Teams work and have that collaborate in channels and shift out of Teams, then you can then start thinking about all this amazing goodness that we've talked about today, and also introduce that Viva briefing email and the goodness that's in there. So any more for anyone else that wants to add anything else that we haven't covered, because we're now just coming up.
I just want to mention on the note there, Lesley, where you talk about adoption and all that. I don't think any of us mentioned Viva Learning. But Viva Learning would be the platform then to bring that continuous learning out to the people, and it's easy to share in chat and in channels and so on. So Viva has like this life cycle that you can do, where Viva Learning is where you share your stuff. Viva Insights is where you measure and understand what you're going to share. Viva Topics is there to help you understand what's going on in the organization and understand the the way, the language we use within the organization, which then can lead to a Viva learning training. So it's all connected, and we will see that more and more moving forward. But again, as you said, Kevin, we need that focus from the organization. So it's very exciting, actually.
Yeah, I just had a little vision. I've gone forward now, having a vision, and it picks up on what Zoe said about more AI in here. That if, can you imagine if you have a chat conversation that's been going on quite a long time, you get a prompt that says, actually, this would work really well in this channel because it's picked up on the words that you're using.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah.
Just had that vision.
Either that or stop chatting and get back to work, which is probably what most do.
No, but
or
can
if you send an email.
Yeah.
This could have been a channel conversation.
Yeah, this
or
could be
if you do a
channel
meeting. Do you know this also can be a channel conversation?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to need to wrap up there. Thank you everyone that's watched the session and the for our Viva Elves that have joined today. We'd just like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Sorry, Lesley.
Sorry.
Can I add one last wish, and that's for people to discover more about the Viva Explorers and to let us know how we can help you learn more about Viva and how we can help support that. So please feedback to us. Let us know what's good, what you want to see more of. I was about to say who you want to see less of, but yeah, please let us know what you want to see. Absolutely. But yeah, thanks, Lesley.
Cheers. Yeah,
Cheers.
so have a wonderful Christmas, however you spend your the end of the year, and yeah, happy and healthy new year to everyone. And yeah, oodles of sessions. I think there's over 100 of them, and this the festive tack calendar will be running until right to the end of December. So there's lots of content in here. So thanks everyone, and yeah, bye for now.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Merry
Bye.
Christmas.